Yeah, yeah. Good evening, everyone. And welcome to this second edition of HTML Crash Course Part 2. But the last time we used HTML Part 1. So we'll be taking HTML Part 2. So let's go to our slide. So this slide will act as basically a guideline. Yeah, act as a guideline. So the purpose of this lecture is for us to understand HTML because I had to break the course down into different parts. We have part one, this is part two. After we are done with part two, I'll be using the part three edition of introduction to HTML. So far, so good. Like I said, my name is Ono Collins. I'm actually a front end um, developer with about 2 years experience. And also a backend developer with a year experience working with Node.js, Express, MongoDB. So for the front end, I'm familiar with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's for that. Now, I'll be taking you guys on the I'll take you guys on the course outline, what we have to cover in this course. So far so good. This is what we'll be covering in this course, in this lecture. So the first one we start from HTML formatting. Yes. And then we move to what? HTML quotation. After HTML quotation, move to HTML comments, move to HTML colors, move to HTML links, HTML favicon, move to HTML block and inline block, inline, move to HTML ID, HTML class, and HTML file paths. So I hope you guys will enjoy this lecture. Thank you. So let us continue. So let's start with HTML text formatting. So HTML contains several elements for defining text with a special meaning. Let's take for instance, in your normal Microsoft Word, when you are typing, you can either decide to make your text bold, or you decide to make your text italics, or you decide to make your text um, the normal default value. So likewise, in when you're writing code, there's a format we use. It's called what? HTML text formatting. So and each text formatting has its own what elements. So we are going to look into those elements while we move forward in this course. So say that okay, this subscript and sub we have subscript and what superscript. It's HTML elements, formatting elements, HTML formatting elements. Say formatting elements were designed to display specific type of text. Yes, were designed to display specific type of text. So, like I said, we have italics, we have so many of them. We have superscripts, have we have so scripts. So that's my favorite. Now, these are the list of what HTML HTML formatting elements or formatting text. So let's go back. formatting text. So you can either call it formatting, HTML formatting element or what HTML formatting text. So we are going to look into them one after the other. Let's see, let's see them one after the other. So the next thing, what we are going to do now, like what we did in our first lecture, we're able to what we're able to create what our HTML file. So now I'm still going to use this folder. So, okay. Now open your book. So now what we are going to create is what so we're going to add an HTML heading. So we use just to like let me explain so that you guys can understand. So we're going to add an HTML heading. So forward HTML. So just like the way it is here, something like this is what we want to add. So we're going to we're going to use what page 3 to do that. HTML, let's see, HTML, let's see, capital letter. Now let's save it and open it. So if you want to open it in your browser, you can either do what you come here, right click, and if for Mac, for Windows, you see something like open in your File Explorer or in your browser. But for Mac, you see reveal in what Finder. You click on the Finder, takes you to this page, then double click. So now we have added what HTML formatting text. These are our heading. Okay, so let's go back to our lecture. So we are going to take them one after the other. Which one do we have? Let's go back to our slide. Go back to our slide. So we take what? The first one is what? B elements. B elements. So B element stands for what? Bold text. Let us add something. Let's say, let's add the paragraph. Let's say, welcome to HTML part 2. So let's give you space here and add elements. It stands for what? Bold. Part 2 course. So let's add our right. Let's save it and still go back to our browser. I think maybe put explanation now. Let's go back to our browser. Whenever you go to your browser, you have to what? Refresh your browser. So if you look at it now, you can see, let me increase the font size. It's 100%. Have you seen it now? Now you can see that with the B element, we're able to what? Make this course bold, right? So that's the work of what? HTML bold B element. It makes your text to be bold. So the next one is what? Strong. Let's use the strong element. Okay, this is the paragraph enter. This is my second lecture. Second lecture on. So let's use a strong tag. We'll give a space. So by the time once you type strong, Visual Studio Code will suggest different HTML element that has what st. You press enter. So okay, let's say this is my second lecture on what HTML. So let's save it and go back to our our browser and refresh. So if you look at it, strong is like more like what bold. So recent time, instead of using the bold element, we developers we use what strong. So strong is more like bold. So just like basically an important text, but it's still the same thing as bold. So I think strong was newly introduced to replace bold. So you can either use strong or bold. So let's move to the next one. We don't have time. We fast. The next one is what? Italics. Let's see. Let's see. HTML. HTML is the let's add our italics. You want to by the time you press I and press tab, the HTML is the basics. Of all when you start learning programming. Let's save it. So we have saved it now. We'll go back to our browser. We'll refresh our browser. Now you can see that with this italics, with this I element, we're able to make our text slant. If you look at it, it's slightly different from the B elements and the strong elements. It beautifies our text, right? So let's move to the next one. Marked text. So we're going to use what? We're going to use another one. Let's move mark. Let's see. Let's see. VS Code is not suggesting it. Let's type it. No, VS Code is not suggesting it. Maybe. Okay, let's add something there. Let's add mark. Right. Let's save it to see the outcome in our browser. Now, if you look at it, it's showing something like a text and a color, right? That is yellow. So that's for mark. The next one, we want to make our HTML elements very small, right? Smaller text. Let's add small text, right? Let's save it. Let's go to our browser. Refresh. So if you look at it in every browser, the normal font size is 16 pixel. So if you look at it, it's just still the same. There's no slight difference. So it's still the same with 16 pixel. So let's move to the next one. Delete, right? Delete text. So let's start down on delete. Let's save it. And what? Let's refresh our browser. Now, if you see it, if you look at it, with the word delete, there's a line stroke across it, right, on top of it. So it's telling that this text is what? Delete. It's deleted. So what's the next one? Move to the next one. There's no time. Okay, insert text, right? Let's try it. Okay, let's let's save it. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Now, if you look at it, there's insert text. There's a line under what the insert what text. So let's move to the next one. The next one, let's just copy them. So it will be fast. Okay, so it's subtext, right? Just copy it. Sub and super text. Paste. So let's add our closing tag, right? Add our closing tag here. No time. So let's save it and go to our browser to check it. Refresh. Now, if you look at this now, superscript is beneath, right? While what that's subscript is beneath, while superscript is like above. So this is how you add the word your subscript and what superscript in your HTML when you're writing HTML code. So let's move to the next one. I think we are done with this one. Say HTML B and strong elements. Yes, the B element define bold text without any extra importance. Yes, that like I said earlier. Initially, we're using what B text, B element, but this time around, most times, most developers use what? Strong elements. So that's for that. Let's proceed to the next one because we have so many slides. Yeah, so many slides. So many. So let's move to the next one. So if you look at it, this example of B. This I've shown the example. You have seen it. So this is an example of a B what element. So the open bracket B. This text is bold, right? Close it. Say okay, key HTML strong element define text with strong importance. Yes, it define element with strong importance. It say the content inside is what typically display in bold. Yes, likewise the way the bold text is displayed, that's how the strong text is also what display. But use this time around, you're going to use what a strong what element. Now the next one, HTML I element and EM elements. Yes, those are another thing. Now, we're going to try the EM element. Let's see how it goes. You see, the HTML element define a part of text in an alternative voice or mode. Yes, it define a part of text in an alternative voice or mode. So the content inside is typically displayed in italics. Yes, like something like very slant. Let's go back to our browser. You can see there something like very slant. Have you seen it? Yeah, is it? Yeah, your text is just like italics, very slant. So that's that. We're going to try EM. We're going to try EM. try again. Let's load back our slideshow. So tips, you say the I element tag is often used to indicate a technical terms, a phrase from another language, a thought, a ship, name, etc. Yes, like is an element that's used to what indicate technical terms about something. Yeah. So that's that. So now let's see, let us try this. And now is what the HTML EM element. The HTML EM element defines emphasized text. It defines emphasized text. Emphasized text. So the content inside is typically displayed in italics. Yes, it display in italics. So let's try it out. EM. Let's say this um, EM element. Let's try it out. Let's open it in our browser. So we're going to open this in our browser. Let's check it out as usual. So if you look at it now, there's no more difference, right? Now the EM now is replacing what? Is replacing the italics element. So most times developer use italics, but I think EM is replacing it. They are like both the same thing. There's no slight difference. So let's go back to our slide. Right, go back to our slide. Okay, you see the HTML small element. The HTML small element defines smaller text. Yes, it defines smaller text with 16 pixels. So we use the word the small element to write it. That's lesser than sign, small, greater than sign. Close it. Write your content inside it. Then we close what. As like I said earlier in the first lecture, that if you want to know what's different between the opening tag and the closing tag is what you use this. You check, look at the slash. You have to add the slash in the closing tag. Yeah, let's move to the next lecture. So HTML mark element. The HTML mark element define text that should be marked, yes, or highlighted. If you look at that text, it was highlighted, it was marked. Let's go back to, let's check it out. Is it here, right? Yeah, marked is highlighted. It's something like, it's a green with a yellowish color background. So I think let's proceed. There's no, we have so many things to cover. Example. It is for what? Okay, let's say P element. You add a paragraph. Does not forget to buy what? Mark make. Let's copy this text. Let's see. Okay. Mm, okay, let's go back. Let's just add it now. Where is it? Do not forget to buy what? Make. Do not forget to buy. So we add our what? Mark. I think this mark is outdated now. But let's add it. Okay, do not forget to add what? Buy milk, right? Let's still add something. Let's add one from, So let's check it. Have you seen it? So it's been highlighted, right? Do not forget to buy milk when coming back. So it's been highlighted. So let's move, let's continue. So now the HTML delete element. The HTML delete element defines text that has been what deleted from a document. Browser will usually strike a line through, yes, strike a line through delete text, yes. So when you add something like a delete text, the browser will strike a line. So you have seen it. Let's go back to, let's check it out. You go to back to your using everything, it is it. Yeah. So that's the word. That's for delete, right? Let's continue. Okay, the next one is HTML INS element. The HTML INS element defines a text that has been inserted into a document. Yes, it defines a text that has been inserted into a document browser, and we usually underline inserted text. Yes, let's check it out. So each thing you do, check it out so you guys can understand it. So if you go back to your browser, have you seen it? Inserted what text? There's an underline beneath what the text. So let's continue. We have so many slides. So now the HTML subscript, we use what the sub what element. They said the HTML sub element defines subscript text. Subscript text appears half a character below the normal line, and it sometimes renders in a small font. Subscript text can be used for chemical formulas like H2O. Yes, let's just add something. This is a chemical. Oh, I'm using chemical. Sorry, chemical formula. Yeah, formulas like that. So we can just add it, right? Let's see the outcome of it. Hmm. So let's go back to our slide. Yeah, so look at it in the browser. H2O. Are you seeing it? It reduces what the text below the initial line in the browser. So let's move to our lectures. Let's go back to our slide. That's most important thing. The next one is what sub subscript, right? We are done with subscript. So let's continue. Superscript. So HTML SUP element. The HTML SUP element defines superscript text. Superscript text appear half a character above, that is below, right? The normal line, and is sometimes rendered in a smaller font. Superscript text can be used for what? Footnote like www, right? Let's try it out. I think I've done it here. Is it here? Yeah, I think we have done it. You don't need to try it out. Let's check our browser. So this superscript here is what? Subscript. So um, let us continue. So let's continue. Now, HTML comment. You have come to another topic, HTML comment. So you say HTML comments are not displayed in the browser, but they can help document your HTML code. Yes. Yes, let's go back to our code. Now, if you look at what I did here now, what? If you look at this here, this line. So if you look at this line, it's not being shown in my browser, right? Let's go to our browser. But I wrote a comment above this HTML formatting text, right? Yes, it is not being shown. So if you want to write an HTML comment, let's add a comment on top of what. So for you to add a comment in your Windows PC, you hold down your Shift key, right? You put your greater than sign, right? You hold down your Shift key, you press your what exclamation mark here, right? You put next thing, you put your double slash one, two, right? So the moment I added my double slash, Visual Studio Code was able to what complete it for me. Then inside it, you can now write your this in what. This is a what sub script. So let's check it in our browser. If I refresh it, nothing will be shown. Now it's just like giving guideline on how you are writing your what HTML code. So now any developer that is reading this thing will know that okay, beneath this your comment, you are trying to what write what a source script element, right? So I can do the same thing for superscript. So you can let's add it again. Let's try it again. Shift greater than sign exclamation mark double slash. You see, Visual Studio Code have suggested it for me. I can now add what this is a what superscript. So when you save it and refresh it in your browser, you won't see these words. You won't see the comments. It's just already commented, but it's just like a guideline on how for you, a guideline for you to understand what you're actually writing. So in case someone else is reading your code, he or she can be able to understand it. So that's them. So let's move to our slide. So I've look at it, look at the syntax of writing a comment, right? Here's the syntax for writing a comment. So no, you say you can add comments to your what HTML source by using this following syntax. Look at it. You notice that there are exclamation points here. Look at it. Yes, I told you there's something like what we call exclamation mark in the start tag, but not what in the end tag. Look at it. Look at it here. Yeah. So lesser than sign, exclamation mark, double slash. You write your comments, closing tag, double slash, greater than sign. Say add comments. With comments, you can place notification and reminder in your what HTML code. So that's the essence of comments. You place notification and reminder in your what HTML code. So let's move to the next one. Next one is what HTML colors. So this is like a big topic on HTML colors. Now, wow, we're still in Number 11. So let's continue. Loading. So HTML colors. HTML colors are specified with predefined color names. Yes, it's specified with predefined color name or with what? RGB, hex, HLL, RGBA, or HSLA value. Yes, these are like HTML color are specified with predefined different color names. So you can use different color names for it. So the color name, say color names in HTML, a color name can be specified by using a color name. Yeah. So let us try it now. Let's add a color to what to H3, right? If you look at it now, I want to add a color. We are going to use what the style what attribute. I think I've taught you guys on attributes. So with the style attribute, you can be able to add color to your what HTML element. So add a style. Once you type style and press enter tab key, it will auto complete it for you. So now we're going to add a color, right? Now we're going to type what color, which is what the property. Now we're going to add a value, right? Let's add a value of I think I love purple. I don't know why. I'm fan of purple. Purple, right? Let's save it. And what? Let's check it in our browser. So if you check it now, we see it now. The HTML formatting text is now showing what? Purple. So this a way of adding what color. One of the way of adding color value. So we just add the color name and the property name, which is color, on the value. So let's move to our next thing. So we can also do for background. We can also add a background color, right? So let's add it. Background color. Let's give it. Hmm, let's give it. Um, let's give it this color. Let's check it in the browser. Okay. Hmm. Wow. Now, this is what this is a background color, right? We are able to add um color using the property name is either color or background color. So if you want to add a color, if you want to add a color to your text, you use what we call color. If you want to add a background color that will cover the text, use what we call what background color and add a value or the value should be any types of color that you want. And you can add your value to be red, yellow, green, and rest of them. So that's that. Let's move to the next one. So So we have done that for yes, we have done it. So text color, that's the one I did initially. So that's that. So now let's want to add a border color. We have different reason. So now for you to add a border color, we can just go back to let's go back to our what Visual Studio Code and what. See, look at what I'm doing now. I'm giving space. Look at the first one, color. It stopped at what here. So you see that there is something like a question mark, right? Or should I say a comma with a dot on top of it? So you stop here, you start from this place. Add an hour. So I'm stopping there. So I'm starting from here. So border. All right. Border. Now we are going to use 2px. Px means what? Pixel. Solid. 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 2px solid. Let's say blue. When you save it, let's check it out in our browser. Wow. So we're able to add what? We're able to add border in our what? H3. Yeah, we're using H3 elements. We're able to add a color text, a background color, and what? A border color, like with 2 pixel. So this particular thing is what? It's pixel. So if I decide to reduce it to one, let's reduce it to one. You can see it will shrink a little bit. If I refresh it, see it has reduced. Right? So the more you add your pixel, the more it increases. So that's that. So now color values in HTML, color can also be specified using RGB values. HEX value, HXL value, RGBA value, and HXLA value. So the following three, let's add, so the following three divs elements have their background color set to be RGB, X, and HXL value. Let's see those three divs. So look at the three divs here. Yeah, got it here now. So now let's see, let us try RGB. So let's delete this one now. Let's delete all this. Yeah, comment. So now let's add a comment. How to add a color. Using RGB. RGB. Right. Let's add something. Let's go to our slide. So we are going to write a H1, right? H1. So this one is for what? RGB. This is for RGB. So RGB stands for what? Red, green, and blue. This is for RGB color. We're going to add a style attribute. So in the style attribute, let's say color, right? RGB. So RGB, you can see that Visual Studio Code is displaying it. So now, if you look at it now, RGB now is showing red, green, and blue. Now, let's go back to our slide. So now, if we want it now to be like more like red, we use the highest value, which is 255. So 255. So let's look at the second one, which is the second one is what? Green, right? So let's give green the value of 99. 99. While the next one is what? Blue, which is what? 71. Let's see the outcome. So let's do blue. 71. So let's save it. So that's for RGB. Let's open it. Let's check it in our browser. I think the color looks like it's not red. I don't know which color is this. Hmm, it's not pink. It's not orange. Hmm, let's say pink. No, 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 no. Like something like it's not red. So if you look at it, we're able to like add different colors now, and we're able to get this. I can't just say the particular color. So let's try other ones too. So with the RGB, you can mix different colors. So the next one is what? Let's try background color. So now this is for RGB. Next one is what? Is for hex, HEX, which is this X value, right? This for X value. We're going to use for X value. So H2 star. Okay. Color value. So we are adding X color value, right? That's good. So we're going to add what? A style attribute at the opening tag of the H2. Style attributes. So color, right? So for us to add that color for X value, use what we call what? Hash sign. That's a hash. So let's see what the color is. FF, which is the first two is what? Red, right? The second two is what? Can you guess? Green. Why is last two is what? Blue. So FF, right? 63. Can add a value, like I said, and what? 47. If you look at it, VS Code is already bringing a color that looks like brown. Let's add 47. Hmm. If you look at it, it's almost the same thing with that one. So let's save it. More like orange. No, you see the same color. So the next one is what? Let's try for the last one. X, right? HXL. Yes, this is HXL color. So let's use H3. Color value. Hmm. So let's add a style what attribute to it. So the style attribute should have what? Let's say the background color. So if you look at our slide, background color should have what? Look at HXL. H. So this HL stands for what? Hue, saturation, and lightness. So let's try for hue. Hue should be like 9. 9. Saturation. Saturation, let's give it yes, it's 100, right? I'll explain all these things. 100%. Yeah, there's a percentage sign to it. Why the brightness? Let's give it a 64% brightness. Or 70, this is 64. So if you look at it, we are still arriving at the same what? The same color. Let's refresh it on the other. So this is a background color. So we set the background color for it that has what? The same. If you look at it, you have the same color, but different what? The first one is RGB, second one is X, while the last one is what? HXL, right? Good. Mm. So let us continue. So let us explain. It says HTML, RGB, and H and RGBA color. An RGB color value represents red, green, and blue light source. An RGBA color value is an extension of RGB with an alpha what channel opacity. So just like you want to make your you want to add opacity to your what your color, you can use RGBA, right? Alpha channel. So that's that. Let's continue. So let us try it out, sir. Let's try it out. So we have tried for RGB, right? Red, green, and blue. So the RGB color, the highest value, like I said, the highest value of RGB color is 255, while the lowest value is 0. So we're going to add H4 elements. Let's see. Now, this is what is the RGB color. Value. So we're going to add our what? Our style attribute color. Now, RGB, right? Now let's look for RGB. RGB. See, look at it now. Visual Studio Code is suggesting is telling us that the first one is what? Red, second one is green, the third one is blue, while the list is what? Alpha. So let us make let's add our red to be let's say 60, right? Right. Our green should be what? Let's make it 100, which is higher than 60. So it will be more of green, greenish 100. Let's add our blue to be 125. 125. So we are just mixing different colors and alpha. So let's say 25%. So let's check it. So wow, you can see that with the alpha value, we're able to make it what a little bit. We're able to move the opacity, make it very light. The color is not that sharp, right? So that's it. Using alpha value. Back to our slide. So it's RGB color value. In HTML, a color can be specified as an RGB value using the formula of red, green, and blue. Each parameter, red, green, and blue, define the intensity of what the color with a value of 0, that's the least value, and 255, which is the highest value. So this means that there are 256 times 256 times 256, which is 16777, 216 possible color. Yes. So like I said, the lowest value is what? 0, which the high value is 255. So for example, RGB with the value of 255, which is red, and the green is what? 0, and the blue is 0. They say it display a red. Yes, to show red. Since the only value here was 255, which is red, it display red. Because the red is set to its highest value, which is 255, and others, which is another two, which is green and blue, set to be 0. So another example, RGB, which is let's say for example now, another one is the red is what? Set to be what? 0, which the green is what? 255. Why the blue is 0? Say it display as green because green is set to its highest value, which is 255, and other two, red and blue, are set to 0. Now we say to display black, to display black, set all color parameters to 0. So like RGB 000 to display black. Now to display white, set all color parameter to be what? 255. Right? Let's try it. Let's use this one. We can copy this. Stop writing it. Let's copy it, paste it 3 times. So the first one is what? Yes, says okay. We want to make it to be red, right? Red. Let's say you set this value to be what? 0. Set this to be 0. This is for RGB red. The next one is what? You set your red to be 0. Your blue to 255. 255. This is the added value. While your blue to be 0. This is RGB red. RGB blue. The next one is what? This should be 0, right? This should be 0. This should be 255. This is the highest value. RGB color. RGB. So let's shake it out now. So with the highest value of 225 and the lowest value of 0, you can see that we're able to set our what? Our RGB to red, green, and blue. So let's go back to let's add more. Let's add for black and white. So for black, we set all the whole value to be what? 0, 0, 0. For white, we set all value to be what? 255. 255. Right? 255. RGB white. Right? Change the color white. So RGB for color black. So let's save it. So the reason why we're not seeing the white because of the background color, the background of the body is having what? A white background. Right? We can add, let us add the background color here to be black. You see that, let's refresh. Have you seen it? The text is what? White. We just added the background color so as we can be able to see it, right? So that's that. Let's move to the next one. I hope you guys are getting it. So if you're having issue, maybe if I'm fast, you can rewind you can just rewind the video. You can go back to previous one and you can still watch it so you can be able to understand it because we have so many slides. That's why I'm moving very, very fast. So experiment by mixing RGB color values. We have experimented them mixing those colors together. So HTML hex color, I've done that. The HTML hex color is specified with what? With the hash symbol, RRGG, where the RR is what? Red, GG is green, Y, B is hexadecimal integer specified what? Component of the color. Hexadecimal integer specify the component of the color. So in HTML, a color can be specified using hexadecimal value in form of hash RRGGBB. where R stands for red, D stands for green, and B stands for blue. I expressing my value between 0 and FF, same as decimal 0 to 1 to 55. For example, hash FF0000 is displayed as red because that's the first value, right? Because red sets the highest value is FF, and the two others, green and blue, are set to 0. Another example, 00 is red, FF and 00 is displayed as green because green is set to has the highest value is FF, and others say what? 2. Others red and blue are set to 0. So to display that black, set all parameters to 0, 0, right? To display white, we set all parameters to 0. So just experiment by mixing what different decimal values. So we have done all these things. The last one is HTML what? HLS and HLX. HLX stand for what? Hue, saturation, and what? Lightness. HLX color value. In HTML, a color can be specified using hue, saturation, and lightness. HSL is in form of what? Look at it. Look at it. Look at how. Look at it. HSL, hue, saturation, and lightness. See, hue is a degree on the color where from 0 to 360. So you can decide to add a color 220, 100. So now 0 to 360. 0 is red, 120 is green, and 240 is blue. So 240 plus 120 is what? 360. Have you seen it? Now 0 is what? Red, 240, 120 is green, and 240 is blue. So that's for what? Hue. Saturation is a percentage value. 0% means a shade of gray. That's add a shade of gray, something like opacity. And 100% is full of color. Lightness is also a percentage of a percentage value. 0 is black and 100% is white. So experiment by mixing the HLS value below. So the color value are an extension of what? HSL with an alpha. Look at it. Just like RGB have an alpha to make it to have an opacity. So that's that. So these are the experiments. So like we say, red, right? 0%. When this page is being shown 0 is what? It will show red. So this one is what? Saturation, 100% to make it very reddish. While 50% is what? Lightness. So this one the same thing. You see this one now. This is what? 240, which is what? Blue, right? Saturation of 100%, 50. Look at it now. We have increased one to green is supposed to be 120, but they added 147. Saturation of 50% and what? Lightness of 47%. So now look at it. 300, 76, and 72. So we can just mix it up and you see it will give you different color. So there's one website that you can go to, we call it Color Palette. So instead of writing all this, you can just go to the website and will generate any either IGB or hex color, hexadecimal color, or what HXL color. So you have a website that you can go and get these things. When you're designing a website, you go to this website and get all these colors. So now HSL color value, HSL value are an extension of HXL color value with an alpha channel. This specify opacity, yes, just opacity. So an HXLA color value is specified with what? The HSAL, hue, saturation, lightness, and alpha. So the alpha parameter is a number between 0 to 0. It's fully what transparent. 1.0 not transparent at all. So look at it now. Examples. So you can just try it on your own because I'm just showing the slides, but we have so many topics to cover. So this is 9, which is what? Hue, saturation 100%, 64% for lightness, and 0% for alpha. So you can move to the next slide. So let me give you time so you can look at it very well. So you can try it on your own. So the next one is what? HTML links, right? That's another topic we're going to cover, HTML links. So HTML links are found in nearly all websites, web page. Links allow users to click their way from one page to another. Yes, links allows users to click their way from one page to another. The HTML link, hyperlink. HTML link are what? They are hyperlink. You can click on a link and jump to what? Another document. Yes, you can click on a link and it take you to another document. So when you move the mouse over a link, the mouse arrow will turn into a little hand. Yes. So let's try it out. Then you're done with colors. So now let us add our comment, very necessary. HTML links. Now we are going to add our what? HTML link. So we use what we call what? Look at the syntax here. Look at the syntax. HTML link syntax. We use the HTML anchor element, which is a tag. Define the hyperlink. It has the following syntax, right? Let's take for instance. Let's create another HTML document. Let's say contacts. So we're creating our contact page now. So now let's generate our HTML with boilerplate. Shift exclamation mark. Press enter. So let's change our title. Contact with. So let's use an contact page. So what we want to do now, we want to navigate between two pages, right? So this time I will use an anchor tag. Press A. So we want to move back to index page, right? Right with index.html. So main page. That's the main page. Let's save it. Let's move to our what index.html. So add our HTML main page. So contact with HTML. So we're adding our contact page. We are linking both to we are linking both the two documents. So first right. Move to index page. Move to what? Contact page. So we have to save the two files. So let's go back to our file. click, now we're in the index page, right? When you click it, takes to what? The contact page. You're in contact page, when you click it, takes to the main page. So now with the anchor tag, we can able to link to what? We can able to take us from one page to what to the other. That's the essence of what link. So if you go to a website, you see home page, contact page, about us page. We use what we call what? The link tag or link element to achieve that, which is the anchor element, the A tag. So let's move to them. So the most important attribute of the A element is the what? href attribute. Let's go back to it. Href attribute. Look at it here. See, once I highlight it, you see that VS Code is telling me something. Say contains a URL or a URL fragment that is the hyperlink point to a URL. Yeah. So that's the hyperlink part of the URL. So which indicates the link destination. Yeah, the link text is the part that will be visible to the reader. Yes, that's how the text. Clicking on the link text will send the reader to a specific URL. Yeah, these are the examples. So these are an example. I've given an example. So now this is what the anchor tag, the href attributes. Now we are linking to what? www.w3school.com. These are websites, a website whereby you can learn how to code also. So these are our text in between the opening tag, because we are writing our attributes inside what? The opening tag. So this is the closing tag. So that's that. So HTML links, the target attribute. We say by default, link page will display in the current browser window. To change this, we must specify another target for the link. The target attribute specify where to open the link document. Yes, specify where to open the link document. The target attribute can have one of the following value. Self. Now you can try this. Self default. That's which self is default. It opens the document in the same window, right tab as it was clicked. Blank opens the document in a new window or tab. You can open the document in a new window or tab. Parent opens the document in the same parent frame. Top open the document in a full body of the window. Let us try something else. Let's go to our index page. Yeah, index page. We are going to add our link. Let's do this one. Contact. Link. So let's add our target attribute. See self, right? Dot blank and parent. So let's see the code. The first one is what? Self. it opens what? In the same page, right? Second one is what? Top. Hmm. Let's see blank. So blank is opening in another like another new tab. Hmm. So if you look at it, this is the first one, this is the second one. Let us try the second one. Last one. Parents is almost the same page. So the only difference is like blank is displaying another what, another page. Let's go back to our slide and understand self open the document in the new window. That's blank in the new window. Open document in the same parent frame. Open the document in the full body window. Okay, that's different. So that's for that. So we have absolute URL and relative URL. You see the absolute URL now. Look at it now. We have now we have a p tag with an anchor element which has an href attribute. So we have https www.w3.org, right? So this is what this is basically what a absolute attribute. So now it's pointing outside the main URL. So if you want to like you want to click on a particular link that will take you to another website, you use what absolute what URL. So, but if you want to like what the one I did now, look at the one I did now. It's relative URL. So it's within this my HTML document. So I created two files, right? First one and second one. So they are related to each other. So it's within. So if I want to add something, I'll take it to Google. I just put an ample link, right? Let's see. Okay, let's go to Google. HTTPS google.com. Let's go back. HTTPS. Google.com. Let's cross our finger tight. Obviously, this is taking us to Google. So this is what? This is an absolute what? This is an absolute link. We have absolute and relative. So this is an absolute. So any URL link that takes you outside your 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 website is an what? Absolute URL. But anyone that takes you within is what relative URL. So that's that. The next one. They say HTML link uses an image as a link. Yes. So to use an image as a link, just put img tag inside the a tag. Look at it. So this is the a tag, this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag. This is the opening tag, this is the closing tag. Just put your image In our last class, I was able to show you guys how to add image, right? Put your image inside of it. Image. So that is that. Next one was link to an email address. Just put your anchor tag, href, or you must put some this you must put this new. Yes, you must put this new and put your two columns and put your email address. If you send it, once you click on the link, you send it to the particular email address you want it to go to. So that's for email address. The next one, HTML image. That's a new topic on its own. Yeah. So HTML image can improve the design and the appearance of a web page. Yes, it can improve the design and appearance of the web page. Now, last class, I was able to show you guys how to use what HTML image. Use what img tag with the source attribute. Then you put your what? You put your image. Your image can be either absolute or relative, just like the way your link is. So you can just put an alternative text in case the image is not shown. The alternative text should show, right? So HTML background image. A background image can be specified for almost any HTML element. Background image on a HTML element. So to add a background image on an HTML element, use the word HTML style attribute, CSS background image property. Let me see syntax. Example: P style background what image. You add a URL attribute. Then you specify the image I want to add inside of it. Say background image on page. They say if you want to add the if you want to add if you want the entire page to have a background image, you must specify the background image on the body element. Yes. So let's see the example. So now for you to add the background image for the entire to cover the entire page, you just specify what the background image in the body. So you put your what style attributes on your heads on the head section. You add your background image. I hope you guys get it. So this is like something like King of Strength. So you add our style attribute. So let's say you want to add for body, right? These are body. Let's come up in between it. Body. Oh, you won't get CSS. I'll teach you guys how to do that. And now we can plan. So you can start to specify the image back. You have image. So you have image. So, so let's go back to the index page. Wow. Obviously now the image is covering the entire body. Right? You can see that you work on it. So you can see you can be able to add the image using what native file paths, which is located. If it's for absolute, you can specify an image from the URL, online URL to display. So So that's that. Mm. So background repeat. If the background image is small than the element, the image will repeat itself. Yeah, it is smaller than the element. The image will repeat itself. But this for this particular one, the image is big. Right? That's why it's not repeating itself. Repeating itself horizontally and vertically until it reaches the end of the element. Yes. To avoid the background image from repeating itself, set background repeat property to be no repeat. So you can come background background repeat to no let's see. So you still like I said, if the image is small, you see that it will not repeat itself. But this one is very big, that's why you see it's covering the entire page. So let us see if we can repeat the size. Hmm. It's still covering the page. Okay, we sort it out. Background cover. You see if you want the background image to cover the entire page, you can set background size property to cover. Let's try it. Background size. So let's see the outcome. Hmm. So you are getting the image now. So he was able to cover the entire page because we use all cover background size. So now we are getting the actual image now. So that's that. I need to fix that. So also to make sure the entire element is always covered, set the background attachment property to be fixed. Let's try it. So it's fixed now. So let's move to the next one. Say the way the background image will cover the entire page with no stretch. The image will keep its original proportions. Yeah, it will keep its own proportion. So let's move to the next one. So this is an example of all what we have, all what we did. So stretch, say background stretch. If you want the background image to stretch to fill the entire element, you can use what background size property is 100. You can do it this way. It's okay. You can either use 100% to 100%, which is width and height. Let's try it now. Let's say the right side, right? 100%. 100. Look at it, still showing the same thing. 100% for width, 100% for height. So let's move on. So many things. Color. So the next one, HTML what? Favicon icon. Favicon. You say favicon is a small image displayed next to what? Next to the page title in the browser tab. If you look at it, every website has a browser tab at the top. So every website has an icon you can display. We call it what? Favicon icon. How to add a favicon icon to your what? In your HTML. So you can use any image you like as your favicon icon. You can also create a favicon own icon on this website. So you can go to this website and what? Go to this website and create your favicon icon. I think I will add, I can see if I can add a link to this slide. I'll share the link to this slide so everyone can go to it. Yeah, to add a favicon icon to your website, either save your favicon image to a root directory of your web server or create a folder in your root directory called images and save the what favicon icon image inside the folder. A common name for a favicon icon is favicon.ice. Next, add a link element to your what? To your index.html file after the title element like this. Let's see. So just like trying to copy. Just check out. I'm just trying to use. I'm trying out something. So if you look at the tab at the top, you see it has changed to what? You look at it, literally showing this in now. Now I've set my image to have a what? An icon. My website now. Every website has an icon. Look at this. Let's say for instance now. All these websites, look at the icons. Canva has an icon. So I was able to set my own with using an image. So you can just get your own icon. Look at WhatsApp icon. Right? Look, this WhatsApp icon. So let's go back. So this is my Google slide. It has its own icon. So you have done that. HTML block and inline element. They say they say every HTML element has a default display value depending on what type of element it is. There are two display value, block and what inline block. The block element, a block element always starts on a line, a new line, and the browser automatically adds space, a margin before and after the element. Yes, I will show you guys how to. I'll explain that. The block element always take up the full width available, stretches out to the left and right as far as it can. Yeah. So two common use block elements are what paragraph and what div. So let us try something else. I think we don't need this now. We don't need this. So let us add a link in the comment. This is a what block element. So I think paragraph is a block element, div is a block element. So it covers the entire space of the web page. That's the width. So let us see. Let's see it in action. Let's add background. Let's just style. So we want to know if it's what blocking background color, right? Style also. So if you can see it now, it's covering what the entire page. See now, if you look at the text, just this is a word block. This is also a block element, right? Now, just for me, you just wrote a little text here. And if you look at it now, it's covering the entire page. So look at this one, it's also covering what the entire page, right? So this is a block element. So if you go back to our slide, let's go back to our slide. Loading. So the block element always start with on a new line, yes. And the browser automatically adds space. It adds space to a margin. So it will cover entire space. So a paragraph is a block element. A div is a block element. So these are what block elements. Article, aside, Canva, ED, div, and the rest of them. These are block elements. So the next one is what inline block elements. So if you look at the inline block element, buttons and anchor tags, attributes, bold, italics, these are what inline. Let us try it now. HTML inline. element. Let's just try and put that and try buttons. So button is part of HTML elements. So just like the button, you want to click on something, you can add a button. So let's add with me. Okay, button. Right here with me. So let us add some colors. Start. Mm-hmm. We also start. Background color. So let us save it. If you look at now, it's not covering what? It's not covering the entire space of the what web page. Unlike block element, it covers what the entire space of the web page. So that's the difference between what inline and what block element. So we have so many of them. You can check it out. Go to W3 School, W3 School out, W3 School to check it out. So that's that. Next one, div elements. These are inline block. I was playing that. So the div element is often used as a container for what for other HTML elements. So you can use a div element to wrap what other HTML elements. So the div elements have no required attributes, but style, class, and ID are common. So when used together with CSS, the div element can be used to style block of content. Yes, block of content. So look at it here. You can decide to add a div. Yeah. You can nest a div inside it. So now I decide to give it a style or an ID or a class. Mm. So you can also use ID and class to style what your HTML element. So we'll get to that. So the span. So the span element is an inline container, yes, used to mark up parts of the text in a particular document. Yes, you can just like if you want to like mark up a particular text in a particular document, you can use the span element. So something like this. Hello one. Color red. If you refresh it now, have you seen it? Just this is the work of the span element. So you can decide to style a specific text, use a span element. So what's the next one? What's the next one? So when used together with CSS, a span element can be used to style part of text. Like I said, you can use to style part of text. So the next one, HTML class attribute. You have the class and the ID. So HTML class attribute is used to specify a class for an HTML element. Yes, we can. When we're doing CSS, we look into this topic very well. For now, let us just read the heading. So multiple HTML elements can share the same class. Yes, you can use one class for multiple style HTML. So using a class attribute, the class attribute is often used to point to a class name in the style sheet. So I don't want to go deep into style CSS now. It can also be used by JavaScript to access or manipulate elements with a specific class name. Yes. So in the following example, we have three divs element with what? A class attribute with a value of city. So all the three divs elements will be styled equally according to city style definition in the head section. So we'll go in our next class. We'll explain that. For now, let me just show you that. So now let's take for instance we have three divs, right? So in our head section, we're able to add our what style attribute now. So we can just add it. Let's just try something now. Let's say our class is what? City color. Wait. Right. So now you can just come here and what? Put our city. You can also put it here. You can also add it here and copy this. So last, right? City. So now this particular class is pointing at this what? This class, right? So let us try it out. Okay, let's say border color white. Okay, border. Okay. So this is we are good to go. Hmm. If you look at, we have two divs. You see, we're using the city style. Let us reduce it to like height to like 200. Yeah, 100%. So you can see that we have, let's move the margin. Everything you can see that this class attribute is now what is now styling both the styling the two divs. So that's that. When we get to CSS, we'll take you that. So let's move to the next one. So I think we're taking an example. Yeah. Multiple class, yes. You can add multiple class to an HTML what attribute. When we get to CSS, we'll take that. So I say HTML element can belong to more than one class. Yes, to define multiple class, separate the class name with a space. Look at it here. See the first one here, class name, main. You separate it with what? A space. Let's see it on the last screen. Yes, city main. This one has only one city. So this one we're able to add more two what class name. So the next one is the HTML ID attribute. HTML ID attribute is used to specify a unique ID for an element. So it's very unique. You cannot have more than one element with the same ID. Yes, unlike class, you can have more than one element with the same ID, but for ID, you can't do that. So each HTML element has its own unique ID. So using ID, use what? The ID attribute specify the unique ID for an HTML element. So the ID value of an ID of the ID attribute must be unique within the what HTML document. The ID attribute is used to point a specific style declaration on the style sheet. A specific one is also used by JavaScript to access and manipulate the element with a specific ID. So the syntax for an ID, write a hash character, look at it here, followed by an ID name, then define the CSS property with a what? Curly braces. Yeah, let's go back to it now. This is for class. So for ID now, we can do it. We can come like this and do something like this. Hash my city. So we can just come here and put what? My city. So let's delete class from this one. Like I said, you can't add multiple class, unlike multiple ID unlike class. So it 90% border. So let's check it out. Have you seen it? So now the ID is styling specifically for its own. So you can add multiple ID to that. So that's that. I'm just rushing these lectures because of the I want to reduce the amount of video being uploaded so that I think in our next class I'll reduce it. So I say in the following example, we have an H1 element that points to the ID name, my header. The H1 element will be styled according to my header style defined in the head section. So look at it, got the style in the head section, my header. So now it's pointing at this what? This ID. Yeah. So I hope you guys can understand this. So if you have to rewatch it, if you don't understand, you can still go back to previous you go back you can rewind back and watch and watch and watch and watch until you understand. That's another way you learn. Another way you can learn while you are watching, you can also practice along by what coding along. So the difference between class and ID. A class name can be used in multiple elements, while an ID name must only be used by one element within a page. So the next one is what? HTML file path. A file path describes a location of a file in a website folder. Now the file path example, if you look at your image now, if I want to add image, we have what? Absolute and relative. Absolute, we are getting a file path from external what? Website. Say the picture GBP is file is located in the same folder in the current page. Let's say go to the folder A, an image folder, and put your image there. You can use what? The slash image slash picture slash what? Let me show you. Yes, add an image. Sorry, I'm a user ing. Sorry. So dot slash, right? We're trying to locate the file path now. So this is a file path of what? This is what we call what? Relative file path. So I'm trying to locate this particular image, right? So we use what? The relative file path. Let me just write a comment. So look at it, image slash picture slash. So this picture locate now. You see source image slash picture.jpg. So the picture JPG file is located in the image folder at the root of your current web. Yeah. So that's for that. So image file path. A file path describes a location of a file in your website folder structure. File paths are used when linking to external file like web page, image, style sheet, JavaScript. Yes, you can use file path for all of them. So for image now, we have the absolute file path and relative file path. I've explained that. An absolute file path is for full of URL. Okay, an absolute file path is the full URL to what a file. So let's say, for example, I want to locate, I want to go to I want to locate the URL in another web page. We can use what? http www.3school.com slash image slash page picture dot what jpg. So it's an external what? Yes, it's an external what? Image stored in another website. So we can use this image external absolute file path to locate that. While relative file path, a relative file path points to a file relative to the current page. So you have your folder in your current web page. Then inside of it, you can just use your dot slash to locate it. So we have come to the conclusion of this lecture, which is what? HTML, introduction to HTML part 2. So in our next lecture, I will take you guys on HTML part 3. So I'll be listing out the topics you're going to take. You're going to leave, because those are complex topics. That's why I had to leave it for HTML part 3. Thank you once more, and also subscribe to my channels for more info. Remain blessed.